Alright everyone, welcome back. We of course had a pretty long break between series there. JJH, they were waiting for a while. NASR, they wanted a small break after what was a pretty debilitating series, you would say, in that previous one. A slow start for sure, which they cannot afford now coming into this grand final. One spot in the Asian RMR on the line, and it's going to be between these two to decide who gets it. A very similar VO, Mirage, Inferno. It's only the third one that's swapped up. If we get there, we'll have Vertigo as the decider.
Very similar indeed, and yesterday it was hotly contested. Both Mirage and Inferno going down to the wire, 30 and 29 round respectively, so this could be interesting. Hmeztal looking to start as he means to go on though, face crack to back him up, and two quick headshots to enter into this pistol. Life already looking very grim for the T side, and well, it's a flawless pistol for JJH. They read the play like a book, they were ready to receive it, and they knocked their heads off. I was going to pose the question, Dean, of being warm off the back of a BO3 versus coming in dry, but I think we've seen which way that lands.
I was wondering the exact same thing. I was thinking, well, they've probably been watching NASR's games a little bit. I suppose there's been an hour break since then even, so they might have been watching the games. They might have been doing some warm-up at the same time as well. I wouldn't imagine they'd be sitting around with so much on the line. Perhaps they don't have the practical game time today. I'm sure they've done some scrims, but they don't have that official, but they have clearly been putting the aim prac in. It's a good start there. That decisive pistol round, a strong opening here from Blue Phoenix as well against the anti-eco. You do want to make sure that you don't have any faults in these early rounds, because this was when things got chaotic yesterday. We didn't see them any rounds chained together until like round 10 on Mirage, if I recall correctly yesterday. It was crazy. They just kept going back and forth. JJH, though, they're looking to make sure that doesn't happen this time.
You'd have to say, if you're JJH, you will feel like you could get this done in two, right? Mirage was very scrappy yesterday. Inferno, they felt like they had control of it, and it was NASR pulling off these mad rounds, right? These mad clutches in and out and over to just keep themselves in the series. So I think JJH starting CT side, a nice confidence builder in the pistol. They'll be feeling like they could get something done here. Looking to just mop up against the remaining pistols. Bibu does manage to catch at least one. From here, they'll be looking to make this as clean as they can. Almeza trying to add some cost to things, though. We'll find at least one more pick before he falls. They should be able to recover all of the good rifles here, indeed. 3 M4A1s picked up. So it's not the end of the world for the CT side, but as the first rifles come out for NASR, they're by no means financially established either. All it will take is one moment to break the economy and get NASR right into proceedings here.
Exactly. We seen it yesterday. It's a certain possibility here, although damage-wise not a ton was done. Even then, the economy obviously doesn't afford a bonus really this early on, especially when you go so heavy on the rifle. So they are all in right now. JJH hoping to just be able to take this first gun round as well and keep the momentum going. And, well, you can see the aggression definitely is going to be paying off in the early stages. Face crack backed up there down through the underpass, pushed by Hmeztal, taking a clean opening. And a clean getaway as well in towards that B bomb site now. They can rotate back around. They can just sit with this 5-on-4. They have decent nades as well, and they've done so much damage on top of that initial kill.
In fact, they have that full B upper control as well. Just affords them so much movement across the map. As you said, damage done onto Propler and Almeza is significant. And they practically know already which direction this hit is headed in. The only unknown is mid. Where Realize is going to look to pull off something a little cheeky. Connector smoke is his target, but it's well read by Blue Phoenix, and at this point the hit becomes very one-dimensional. 2 out the ramp, 1 out Palace. The damage is already significant. It's just chipping away at the remaining blocks of a T-side round. And well, the demolition crew are in. The rifle's swarming now to try and make it as painful as possible. I mean, Remind has got 6 HP here. He's not going to be getting much of anything done. He's been spotted out down that ramp. They know where to look for him, and yeah, bullet from death, right? It's not gonna happen. A 3-0, a flawless 3-0, couple of AKs grabbed as well, right at the death of things. This is a dream start for JJH, and like you said, this is nothing like it was like yesterday. It's not scrappy at all. JJH are controlling the pace on the CT side.
Yeah, this is nasty from them, especially with how close the halves were yesterday. It's still early days here, sure, but it was A7 at the end of the first half, and obviously went A7 again in the other direction then for NASR to actually get themselves the victory. So it wasn't like either side really flourished on either half. It was just constantly scrappy. So if JJH keep this up here with a very strong early CT side start, then it's going to be hard for NASR to get themselves back on their feet. For now though, just Deagles. I mean, was there like maybe 30 damage done in that previous round in total, let alone a kill? So the economy clearly starting to build a bit here.
Which again was something that we didn't really find ourselves talking about yesterday.
Never. We also mentioned that the loss bonus was never really getting much of a chance to build either because of the constant back and forth, so we were seeing a lot of weaker weapon buys, which doesn't happen that often anymore.
Certainly not the case here. Smoke starts to fade, low HP on the first, chipping away rather at the remaining pistols, which is exactly what you want to do. Just try not to overface. Facecrack does get a little keen there. Takes some damage for his trouble, but Meztal should be there to back his man up. Bibu again able to find the conversion for one. Don't want to be losing too much more than that against the Deagles. Damage onto Almeza. 4 rifles available. Meztal tucked into the ladder room as well, but Bibu on a recovered rifle is finding a lot of work here. Another quick headshot. And actually starting to draw this into a really competitive round before Moore starts to put a stop to things. Realizes left in the 1v2. Close spam angle for Blue Phoenix looking completely the wrong way. And suddenly this gets very rough. 15 seconds left. He knows where the last man is. Bomb is recoverable here. 10 seconds. He should be able to get into that A site if he absolutely guns it. Problem now, time becomes a real issue. Off the stairs. Time, I don't think he's got it. It's going to be really tight if he has. He's going to try and punch these numbers in, and he will be able to get that bomb down. Buys himself a little bit of space with it as well. No utility for more. It's just going to be straight on this face now. Realize tucking himself into the firebox. A huge opportunity. Headshot. Dinks up the man. 3 HP on Moore now. Realize playing around these boxes, but it's a clean headshot. The Deagle's so close to getting it done for NASR. It goes down to the last man, but Moore's able to clutch it up.
Yeah, with an incredibly crisp shot, which is really the only option that he had at that point on 3 health. You have to feel a little bad for the attempt there that it was put in by NASRBibu with an incredible 3 kills, and even though the initial kill was caught by the timing there towards Connector, it just came so close. It was a good opportunity, and hopefully a bit of confidence now inspired in NASR coming into this gun round. Nothing at all lacking. They've got their up, all the utility, and well, the molly there, I think, to try and stop that window smoke. They're actually just going to go straight for the drop, and well, we should have an early fight. It looks like Facecrack definitely wants to stick around. Spots a couple players, though, crossing over, and I think is happy with the info and a small bit of damage that was, I would imagine, connected by grenades.
Yeah, that early HE to top mid, able to chip away. Cost looking to leverage the orb, but this timing, Almeza trying to be cheeky with it. Facecrack checks, but a little too late. Man advantage grab, mid control established. That boost up will give away the fact there's a ton of presence over towards B as well. And as Almeza starts to thread the needle here, he's got multiple rotations heading into his crosshair, a double spray down. And he's picking them apart from deep in CT now. Mid-rotation of Blue Phoenix, trying to isolate one and will be able to. Orb still alive and kicking inside of that site. They've actually dropped past him. Bibu, no idea at all. Davkos gets a gift and doubles it. Remind left alone will be able to surely leverage that kill, but a dink is the cost. And with 45 seconds left on the clock, this starts to get very hairy now. Davkos on the AWP, no information about the position of this last man. Reminder's worked his way off the jump into the mid window through to Kitchen. Davkos watching for it, but he can't land the shot. Clean headshot from Remind, and NASR are on the board.
These low health clutches, man, that are getting it done now for both teams. It's not as scrappy as it was with the literal back and forth yesterday, but we're still getting some close rounds here in the early stages, so it's what we want to see. It's NASR now coming to life with that first gun round for themselves, and with the damage they've been able to compile over the last few rounds, the buy here is pretty limited for JJH, so there's a chance for NASR to very quickly bring themselves towards 3 if they win out this one. That's why we understandably do get the pause, I would imagine, from JJH. Could have been NASR's as well. It's not like they won a clean round. They also need to ensure they do now duplicate the performance and get a second round off the back of it. But I think JJH would be feeling a bit more desperate with the weaponry that they're looking at.
It's not the buy they would have been hoping for, is it? And again, losing out on a big clutch. Certainly seen these weapons do work previously, though. By no means incapable of finding a little bit of magic. smoke just to try and give himself something to work with. He wants to try and contest this mid control. So many bodies there. Bleeds a lot of the utility as well. Trying to take that connector, trying to hold on to it. The smokes keep requiring refreshment. Mid control will be taken. Top con smoke leaves face crack with a decision. Play the edges. Flash into mid, enables the peak. Meztal unlucky not to get away there. Propler just about able to get back in time to find the trade, and now this starts to get awkward. More is jump peeking over towards B. There's bodies there. Bibu starting to make his lurk. Bomb to be recovered, and NASR with a decision to make at this point. The bomb is starting to work its way over towards this B site. For now, Moore is a lonely, isolated figure. Multiple bodies about to head his way, and he wants to get aggressive off this as well. He smoked himself up. It's going to be all on him. It's spray down or bust now for JJH. They've got nobody even close to a rotation position. Realize is cutting everything out of mid, and Moore spamming his own smoke is a dangerous game. Punished for it. Immediately Realize activates in mid, and that's it. Round done. NASR starting to find their feet on Mirage.
Indeed, I like this. A convincing round as well. Just warning JJH. Sure, your first few rounds were easy, but not all going to be like that. It took us a moment to find their groove, I suppose. Scout and an MP9 going to be safe. That won't do them a lot in this next round, unfortunately. I wouldn't imagine we'll even see much in terms of upgraded pistols. They're only getting 1900 now, so 2400 afterwards. They'll want to pretty much keep everything towards that next gun round. So a very nice opportunity for NASR here to keep things going. Shouldn't have a lot to contend with in the following round, and then even going into that gun round, there very likely won't be an op or anything in play. Seems like both weapons should be safe though. Yeah, I mean, that mid peak was maybe a little bit wild from window. I think the hope was that if the window player went down, they might have thought the A split was the better way to go, and obviously they had 3 players in on that A bomb site, so I think it was kind of a, you get a kill, get maybe 2 and some info off the back of it, and perhaps even bait them right into our stack, but it just didn't work like that.
Yeah, it was when he started spamming that smoke over on B, I was like, that's the risk, right? Because you're just making yourself vulnerable. Punished for it. And as we come into this one, a very scrappy buy for JJH. Scout and MP9 saved across, otherwise full defaults. Gonna get a little aggressive with it. Missed shot from Davkost. Difficult one to hit, but one we've seen him hit before, so a little unfortunate. Missed smoke followed up on by Realize, and there is some presence in towards Connector. In fact, a good amount of CT presence looking to converge. See if maybe they can catch something a little bit cheeky here. As NASR are starting to set up for the A split. Just a little too keen on that aggression, gets his head cleaved off. And at this point, it's just about thinning away those numbers. Couple of kills found. Davkost the only man with any real firepower left on the CT side of things, and NASR should be able to sniff this one out fairly cleanly. I
mean, it's a weapon that can kind of buff up the 2 USPs if he lands a couple of shots, in fairness. So if they do come towards this A bomb site, if the scout can output some damage, maybe the USPs can capitalize and at least make it a costly round for NASR, because the economy is getting a bit strong, and while it doesn't look like that's going to be possible anymore, it'll have to be just Davkost now to get a couple of kills from this one, and unfortunately the Palace Peak's going to catch him off guard. He still managed to hit the flick, but fortunately Remind was sitting at full health before, so he hangs on. They managed to have a fairly clean round there, everyone alive, just some nades really being repurchased, and as I mentioned before, the buy, despite coming in, won't be perfect for JJH. I don't think they even have a kit.
No kit, no head armor, although that's, you know, negotiable. Yeah. Limited utility. And NASR starting to find their feet. Again, a little bit of a slow start, right? But they're starting to build into it now. Heavy mid lean to start things off, and JJH this time not looking too interested. Instead, it's the 2-man play over towards B, spotted out. Bibu on the jump. Calling for the reinforcements. Pushing right past them, they've got no idea. Bibu with a freebie and make it 2. Moore and Davkost just not expecting that whatsoever. The flashbang allows them to cross unspotted, and now 3 on 5, they'll charge into this B bomb site, flooding it with men. Meztal Backbench just trying to stay alive, trying to buy a few precious seconds, but his utility gives the game away. They know exactly where he is through the smoke. BIBU almost on the jump scare. Hmeztal should be traded, manages to grab a couple from inside a backside, and the bomb actually backs away as a result. The problem is he's lost all his teammates, and they know the A site is wide open for the taking, so the bomb will double back. They'll maintain control of kitchen, Molotov onto short, and this should be leveling round.
Yeah, nice work. I mean, after that first gun round being as decisive as it was, it can be hard to get the mindset back into the game, but they've been doing a pretty fantastic job so far. Even just that first round that they didn't win, where they managed to get a crazy amount of damage done. I think it was BIBU when he picked up the M4 for himself. So he's been a very impactful player when it's necessary. Only on 8 kills, and while that is at the top of the scoreboard, it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's like 1 kill a round. It's nice and consistent. But they've all just had so much impact so far. The initial 3 that he got himself with that retrieved M4 done so much damage that they were able to obviously break JJH and get themselves that string of rounds that they've been able to find now, and a fantastic couple entries there towards that B-bomb site as well. So we're tied up 4-4, a half investment coming in. The loss bonus at least will be maxed out now in this next one for JJH. Even then, only a few players even bother putting in the body armor behind it. So while some damage can possibly be done, the economy's already in a ridiculously strong place for NASR, and well, it should be their round for sure. The op ready on the angle. I thought we were going to see the pre-fire from Facecrack. He was ridiculous with the aim yesterday from what I recall. Halfcost actually does catch one off guard. Not too bad. If he could get the AK, that would have been nice, but unfortunately trapped in on Sandwich. It's never fun.
Rough old place to be, and as NASR start to thin the numbers, should be a freebie here for more with Propler on such low HP. Yep, going backwards out of a smoke. That's the play boss. The A site's lost. Shouldn't be any more to be said than that. Moore's having a little bit of a poke. But now utility to lock him out, realize to lock him in. And yeah, as he looks to exit out here, he's being hunted down and dealt with by Remind. This is a really nice response from NASR. Those early rounds, I was starting to get a little concerned, and I thought JJH should be eyeing up a clean response after yesterday, where they kept themselves in it over and over again. And NASR again have found that level, right? It takes them a few rounds to get into the game, a few rounds to warm to it, but then they find their level. And they're starting to look really damn clean here on Mirage. The AWP will be out for Davkos this time. An opportunity to try and respond, and they're going to post in on some mid-control. Davkos to work connector. It's the straight hay pop to be called by the T side. NASR just lining up the utility here. Couple out of Palace. Davkos is watching for this, and he'll get the gift. Remind too keen. And an early man advantage to try and leverage now on the CT side.
Yeah, first time in a while they've been able to find one. It's just the impact of the op, especially in the hands of a player like Davkos. Right now they're just kind of trapped around Tetris on this A push. Never a fun place either to be stuck, just like Sandwich. Getting across to that bomb site can be difficult. It looks like they want the deep control though. Try and take the kill if there's a player pushed up around connector, isolate that fight, and maybe even try and put the bomb plant down from mid. For the moment though, that's not really the case. They've got a player in on stairs and they're just chilling. This is kind of strange. It obviously gives a ton of time for rotations to come in from JJH, but for now they haven't really budged much.
They haven't been shown enough to realistically call that rotate, right? They've not seen bomb yet. Not really seen any presence. They're going to go for a boost in towards CT, over the top of Ticket. Over the top of Bins even, to see if they can catch some kind of a peek. But the bomb is going to go down here. 5-on-4 retake to try and be constructed. Limited utility for the CT side. And this is where that comes back to potentially bite them. Davkos, no idea this aggressive position was held by Almeza, so he goes down for free. A little bit of spam damage, not really enough in response as they look to charge on out. BIBU holding the CT angle down, grabs one, looks to double it. It's a rough old spray, and he does get taken down, but there's so many bodies still. With that bomb ticking away, low HP bars will make it a little easier, but that ramp AWP is going to be nightmarish to clear out. Realize, lands his shot, traded immediately. They need to stick the bomb, and they will. Propler getting all the kills, but the round is JJH's regardless.
Yeah, well, I would say JJH were in a bit more desperate need of the round win, so NASR maybe not going to be too upset, especially since they do take all the frags, as you said. Their own economy is fine. They can reinvest into this. They've still got an absolute, I was going to say a bad word, ton full of money right there, so they're not going to be troubled by that anytime soon. And they know they've at least limited the buy somewhat of JJH. You've got 2 FAMASs just to get a decent amount of utility. As you can see, the M4s are just going to be relying on hopefully finding some early openings. And, well, that's a fantastic shot from Blue Phoenix. Even while slightly blinded up, he got a glimpse just beforehand, and that is plenty. Again, though, they did find that opening in the previous round as well, and then NASR managed to exploit the A bomb site just being so damn defensive.
Of all the players to send bunny hopping out mid to try and take boxes, I'm not sure it'd be the AWPer for me, but gives it a crack, fails it. Blue Phoenix manages to double his openings with a swing onto the ramp, and at this point, yes, you've got the mid control of your NASR, but what are you looking to do with it? Plenty of bodies available for the CT side to contest. Still got presence in connector. Phoenix over the top of the smoke. Very unfortunate. Dink on to remind. Good damage onto the second player as well. Bibu trying to work his way into the window. Yet to find the kill, however. Man advantage still remains. Good control of both sites still remains. And you can see NASR just starting to have a poke at some of their alternative options here. Bomb will retreat out of the underpass and they'll set themselves up for a B play. Moore's going to be the first issue here. He's very aggressive on this angle. Should have a freebie, but he fires too soon. Gives the game away. Free kill for Bibu in response, and now the B site looks vulnerable. Meztal on the rotation in. Will take advantage of the low HP as the first. Propler, his next victim. Remind on 10 HP, finally able to trade him down. But surely he can't hold on to this any longer. At the very least, he'll get the plant. Facecrack needs to wait for the support to be ran. Spots out, reminds he looks to head to back bench, and on low HP he will go down. JJH able to rescue it.
Damn, yeah, it was Meztal really with that double kill that slows them down so much, allows for rotations to start coming in as well, and as you had said, was able to benefit a bit from that early damage that had been done around mid. So all around, great work from the boys over on JJH, and NASR, while their economy isn't going to be broken down anytime soon, they're starting to at least be challenged, which is a good thing. A bit more back and forth, similar to what we had in yesterday's Mirage. And at the moment, both teams could be on track to a very similar half. We had an A7, as I said. Let's double check how the first half went, actually. Exactly. Unfortunately, I closed it. Duh. Why would I do that? Yeah, so it was, as I said, A7. So the first half, it was NASR T side. They got 8 rounds, and it was 7 for JJH. So JJH potentially to improve a small bit. They can keep this up.
Gonna have to deal with the A set play if they want that to come through. Straight pop call by NASR, and this A site has been a little back and forth. The way they're playing it hasn't been massively successful, as here comes the pop Molotov into the palace to try and flush out the bodies. Propler's gonna go straight through it. And the A site swarmed with T side players. Trying to get some kind of angle is Blue Phoenix. Top ticket, managed to find one. Spam down is the response. 4v4 retake for the CT side to consider, and it's a rough old retake to try and get into as well. After plant positions established, Remind at least tagged up in towards Palace, but yet to find the kill. HE gets more damage on the board, but still, even in terms of men alone, and they're still stuck trying to get out of this initial angle in towards the jungle. Bibu behind triple. Here's the swarm. He's got a free spray down. Multiple players looking the wrong way. Davkos responds, but it's a 3-for-1 in favor of NASR, and that will be the 6th round. The A site hit again. They're playing it very passively on the JJH side of things. One player back CT, one player top connector. So those smokes just completely lock them out of having any capability inside of the site.
Yeah, and unfortunately their retakes don't seem to be as confident as you'd want them to be constantly playing that setup. So maybe I'd like to see some info plays around that A-bomb site or even elsewhere, so that they can afford to perhaps put the numbers on that side of the map if they do want to be basically giving up the bomb site. Because now, unfortunately, having won a couple rounds in a row, they bumped their loss bonus down to 2400 for that round, so they will not get a buy. They have the op saved, but they'll only have pistols, Kevlar on at least one other player there to back it up, so there's a chance for some damage to be done, but the economy was never even brought close to destruction, even within that double round win from JJH. So NASR are looking pretty, and, well, they're on a straight-up B rush, which could be dangerous. There's 3 players here. The Deagle already kicking things off. Her face cracked. The Ninja corner going to actually be cleared as Meztal shows himself, wanting to try and help out on the defense. Unfortunately, it backfires. Almazar with another as well. And, well, despite some actual decent trades, I was going to say it looks to be going the way of NASR, but not anymore. No pun intended.
Remind's desperately low as well, 12 HP. That's real short, a single bullet will do it. And JJH, how do they continue to do this?
Is that a pun as well?
That's a pun as well. 3 men inside of the site. I mean, the fact that Meztal shows himself there, that should be it. The fact they clear that angle, that should be it done. But again, just charging into the site, flooding it with bodies, and JJH existing within that chaos. Able to nab themselves a 7th. At this point, as you said, matching their total from yesterday. Anything else from here is a bonus. And I mean, if they get this one over the line, the economy looks to break for NASR. 9-6 half would be a fantastic result. Given we know their competencies on the T side, we know what they're capable of. Realize is going to go for a lurkout palace. Unfortunately, Davkost has got a very similar idea, so he gets a freebie. Proper has managed to work his way out the ramp off the back of it, but it's suspected by Facecrack. The nade goes in, followed up with some spam through. Meanwhile, reminding towards mid has actually managed to wrestle that bit of control away again. This starts to get really tense for both sides. Propler is actually out of the ramp. Palace look available for Almeza as well. More playing with fire on these jump peaks. Lucky not to get caught by Bibu. And as they look for this mid control, this could well decide things. Good damage, but not quite the kill. And that A site still under siege for the time being. Bomb to be recovered and NASR to try and work out in the 4-on-4 how they're going to break this one open.
Yeah, I was going to point out the, once again, passive hold on A, but with the damage they've done, I would probably actually prefer if they continued with that setup. Looks like Facecrack instead wants to position in on the bomb site. Davkost has his palace covered there, as you can see, and that was one of the healthy players as well. Unfortunately, that goes down, so NASR's job of trying to crack through this A defense has just gotten even harder. An op recovered for Remind. That might somewhat negate the damage he's taken. As the stairs angle held, at least, so his teammates have one less to worry about. But under Palace, rather, is going to be difficult to clear here. Facecrack just tucked in, letting them go by, hoping to, at the very least, catch one. Allow his teammates to successfully trade onwards, but he does a little bit better than that with the help of Davkost. It's A6, as we said. JJH have already improved on the half they had yesterday, and the 9-6 is very plausible.
NASR making noise. They dropped the bomb. They tried to drop it backwards. It fell on the floor. Facecrack hears it. Rotation squirreling in. Not that they're needed. And as you said, a golden opportunity to make this a 9-6 half now. 2 AKs, handful of pistols. Maybe the B rush is the call. They've had some success on the A site, but they've also shipped away a few too many picks for my liking. They are going to set up an early barrage of utility into the A site. For now, at least, heavy mid presence for JJH. Not so interested in the play out towards A. So as the smokes come over the top, there won't really be anyone about to even spam through and make them busy. NASR looking to take mid control. Should be able to catch out this underpass lurk. Indeed he does. Gets both of those players. So this is more like it now. With mid control established, the A site hit starts to look very one-dimensional, and they actually bail out of it, NASR. Bomb looks to make its retreat. Almeza left to lurk inside of that A site and see if he can maybe find anything at all. But JJH are not falling for this. They've rotated back, set themselves back into their default. And at this point, with mid control to work with as well, it starts to get really nasty. Almeza, a solo lurk in towards Sandwich. Yes, he gets one, but the trade is immediate. At this point, it should just be about finding out the info. Meztal spots one in towards mid. Pot flash called to try and get himself back into the angle. Instead, uses it to escape. And oh, what do you even do if you're NASR here? 30 seconds left on the clock. No utility at all. 1 AK, 1 Deagle. And you've got to try and break into one of these sites. Starting to work their way out, at least of Connector. They've managed to get some control towards jungle, but 20 seconds left. That bomb's still got to make the transfer. It's still got to get to one of these sites. And quite frankly, JJH are not going to let that happen. Meztal tucked into Sandwich can deny them the cross. He's got CT support from Facecrack. Should just be a matter of swinging this on timing alone. And here it comes. The swing, the spray, the wallbang connects, and it's a 9-6 half for JJH.
Yeah, big improvement. Rather than being down at the halftime now, they're heading up with an advantage on that T side where they did seem to shine yesterday. Although 6 is still a pretty decent showing from NASR, even though it's not quite what they were able to get yesterday. It's potentially enough, especially if they can find that pistol and if they can get off to a similar start to what JJH had. Maybe even get some economy going for themselves. I am liking what we're seeing though. Clearly JJH, as we mentioned, they had some time to have a look over that demo from yesterday, to have a look at maybe any adjustments NASR made today during their game as well. And they came out swinging in the initial moments, and despite a bit of a stumble, managed with a strong ending as well in the halftime. So we'll have to see now how it is going forward. Inferno, I'm expecting to be another another nail biter for sure with how close it was also yesterday. No idea about Vertigo though. We haven't seen that from either of these teams, I don't believe. Having a double check. Actually, sorry, JJH do have one game played. We haven't seen it. No, never mind. It's because they have the core of the Israel team from the European Championships.
A bit of an unknown factor, but I think if you're JJH, you're eyeing this up as a 2-0 now, right? You know what your Inferno was like yesterday, and to be brutally honest, from my perspective, JJH played the far better Inferno. There was a few magic moments from NASR, right, that really kept them in it, but in terms of just the level of play, JJH were definitely elevated, and they'll be thinking, okay, you know, we stop those magic moments, we stop giving away the, you know, the Deagle 1D half by magic that we kept falling for, and then we'll really shore up our Inferno. And now they'll be eyeing up this Mirage and saying, look, we were 9-6 up at the half. We played a solid T side yesterday. There's nothing to say we can't do that again. And if they started with the pistol, as you said, this could very quickly start to spiral out of control for NASR.
Yeah, if it's anywhere near as decisive as that initial pistol was as well, it will be definitely a bad omen for NASR. They'll be looking to pull off something similar themselves, and well, they're going Kevlar on everyone, so you can expect some straight up aim duels. They're not going to be playing passively on these bomb sites. A retake is not really something that they'd be looking forward to. And well, it's actually pretty likely considering the two sets of utility here just straight into the A execute. They're going to pile out pallets, look for the CT control, and well, they're going to find Propla tucked in behind triple, as well as that initial stairs fight.
We've seen him get a lot done from here before. Let's see if it can happen again. He has got a little bit of support, as you said. Remind on the stairs. Going to be smoked out. Propla alone behind that triple box, and he's opened his account already. Dink down. Will be traded cleanly. Plant to follow. Meztal wanting to work his way into CT, but he's plucked out of the sky by Remind. Facecrack also tagged down low in this proceeding. More now an isolated fight, but he manages to get one before he's taken away. It's going to put a lot of pressure onto Davkos now. With Facecrack on 6 HP, he has to stay alive, and there's nothing he can do. 1-for-1 is the best he's got. And on low HP, Facecrack will be found. NASR make the retake stick. And again, it's a little bit of magic to get it going.
A little bit overkill from Bibu there. Last crispy headshot was slightly unnecessary. The body would have done it, but just showing off at this point, telling us that they're going to fight right back in on the CT side, and that's what I'm expecting now. JJH at least getting a bomb plant. I thought they'd probably just take the one eco and then come out with a really strong buy, but oh, it looks like they're going to actually invest into this one. Dropping some AKs around, a scout given over to Davkos for his mid-peak. He gave her an AK in return, I believe. They should be pretty much fully investing. Yeah, some weaker weapons so that they can get utility. I quite like it as well. It's a heavy M4 buy from NASR, sure, but they're lacking utility themselves. So a couple early picks to go in the way of JJH. Things could spiral out of control for sure.
Question is, how do you call this round? And that's going to be the big difference maker. You got two MAC-10s on Blue Phoenix and Meztal. You can expect them to go in early. Want to crunch this mid control. Not sure that's necessarily the call when you know you're up against at least a few M4s, in this case 4 of them. Two MAC-10s rather be up in their faces, making the aim as difficult as possible. Instead, 1 minute and 10 left on the clock. They're going to start to anchor in towards this mid control. Bomb on the back of Meztal, still lurking outside TV. Here comes the play. Couple of flashes to gain that mid presence. Facecrack to lock out top con. Force the CTs back. Not really force the CTs, more than willingly gave it. Happy to set themselves in the angles, and Propla's read it beautifully. Quick headshot onto Facecrack to open things up. And what do you do now? 40 seconds left. Little to no actual map control. It's going to be a pop-out connector, but they've read this. Remind, ready and waiting. It's a rough old spray, but he'll be traded cleanly. And he spotted a lot of the presence here. Smoke goes up, but the spam through it is good from Propla. Davkos goes down, and at this point it's going from bad to worse for the T side. They're trying to send the MAC-10s in, and Meztal will get some work done. Brings it back into the 2-on-2. He's got bombs, so he's got to get across to this site now, and Bibu manages to catch one on the transfer. Plant will be landed, but on just 20 HP. Meztal needs to be lightning quick to clutch this up, and Almeza has got him locked into the site. Even a wallbang will do it. Meztal aware of the possibility. This has to be an immediate kill. If it's not, he's done for. A missed shot and he's punished. Goes down to the last man. It's a good force buy, you have to say. NASR wants the BM at the death of it as well, but they're reeling them in at the moment, NASR. An 8th round on the board. CT side starting to click.
It was incredibly close though, and with the bomb going down as well, you might be able to justify a force again here if you're JJH. You know it was a heavy rifle buy, you've seen them, so you know that if they're coming back out again, they'll probably go for something similar, and their money, well, it'll all be gone by the end of it. So even a half buy, yeah, I'm totally behind this. They get 2,900, they can spend quite a bit. They don't really need to fully invest, and this is still going to give them a fantastic opportunity to maybe even get another bomb plant and take a few players with them. Top mid smoke, sell a little bit of fake, show some presence while not actually putting any numbers there, of course, and I'll bring this directly towards A, where at the moment they might find things a bit weakened if they put the smokes down.
I like the idea. Straight A, execute, get that bomb down, get yourselves into an afterplant, buy yourself some breathing room. That's all you can do when you've got these pistols. Early utility is good. Realize wants to swing it, but it's a rough old fight. Meztal gets the early man advantage. Bomb surely to go down now. Nice response from Propler. Corner of the smoke gets the spam. And that spam damage continuing to tickle away. Blue Phoenix takes a couple. Hot flash to try and get them into afterplants, but it leaves isolated fights. Blue Phoenix now tucked into the wrong side of connector. Needs support, needs somebody to bail him out. Meztal trying to do his best. Another clean 1D. Blue Phoenix now in with another, and this is getting a little rough around the edges. Blue Phoenix has managed to recover a rifle. He's going to be chased down by NASR. A clean shot, and it leaves that bomb plant. 1v2 now for Face Crack. Tech 9, full health. They're going to stick it out. NASR's low, but he's backed up by Propler. Limited time left on the clock. It's a valiant effort from JJH, but again, NASR hold firm. The retake lands, and they're 9-all.
Yeah, but in terms of playing the long game for JJH, that went exactly as planned. I mean, the win would have been very nice, and it would have been always in the back of their mind as they were going for the execute and such, but the amount of damage that they've done over these past couple rounds, while it was heavy rifle buys for NASR, means their economy is on the brink of destruction if they can just take this first gun round. And then at that point, JJH up to likely 11, maybe even 12, depending on whether that force buy comes in from NASR. So we'll have to see how things play out now. A nade from Remind to do some potential damage. Does at least force him wide, and off the back of that, it will be the opening kill once again going the way of NASR. Unfortunately, if they can't capitalize on the damage, if they do end up losing this round, then yeah, at that point I would say NASR feeling real good, and at that point JJH definitely in trouble.
Some confidence in this CT side now.
I don't think it was ever not present, just on the T side. It's a little bit harder at points to crack through.
Yeah, I think certainly yesterday it was a little cagey. This is starting to look much, much cleaner, smoother. Swinging wide on mid, Remind. Playing with fire there, but he gets away with one. Davkos goes down. And at this point, again, JJH just a little stuck in the mud. 2 picks against them. They've got the mid control, sure, with Face Crack, but where do you look to leverage it? What do you look to do with it? Because at the moment, if you head towards B, you are running into the gauntlet. Realize there on the AWP, Glass Cannon to give himself a little bit of an angle. Bibu next up on the MP9. Tucked close into the angle. They're really relying on Face Crack as well to cut all of these rotations down, presuming you can get into the site. He looks to join his teammates. Realizing perhaps that they need a little extra firepower. Blue Phoenix just not expecting that angle at all. Goes down freely. Meztal and Face Crack. That's it. Bail out. Save the AKs. It's going to be NASR taking the lead with all 5 players alive once again.
This is getting worrying for JJH. Obviously, Inferno still up next as their map choice. You would put them as the favourites there after showing yesterday, but not massively. Not at all. And how close Mirage was as well yesterday, 16-14. If NASR could continue on like this and maybe even have a commanding victory here on Mirage, then I definitely would be a little bit worried for them. You get a pause though. It's a good timing for JJH. They have their full loss bonus going. They can get their buy, but it is limited on utility, so they may as well put in a plan about exactly how they're going to use it all. No op, which is unfortunate. It was really when Davkos got the op back on that previous half that they started to get things going in their favour. It was the difference maker.
Thinking about it, we'll go for the AK-47 this time around.
4,000, I believe, unfortunately, so didn't really have much of an option. Maybe could have considered a scout if you wanted more nades or something.
Yeah, that was my only thought, is maybe you trust the scout. Sticking it out with the AK, however. Looking again for some presence in towards mid. Early spram down from Bibu. They're actually going to get the better of the B-lurk, and Remind has managed to catch the jump. As they look to run boost out of mid, it's just a demolition job. 3 kills quick as you like. JJH. Nothing going their way. Seemingly just a little short on ideas here. Face crack caught on a lurk out mid. Meztal's left 1v5. He gets 1 kill. It's a nasty little spray down to transfer. At least makes it that little bit more expensive for the CT side. The problem is he's got 1 minute and 5 on the clock. He's limited in his utility. He's on his own. He's looking for the ace clutch. I mean, he's going to work his way around towards the ace site. Or is he? He went down towards the ramp and then backed all the way back up. He's actually going to go back out mid here. See if maybe he can isolate a fight. It feels like it should be impossible. Propler's watching. Just shouldering the angle. He spots him. Sees him on the radar. Catches him as he looks to transition to short. The damage chipping away at Meztal's hopes of a miracle round for JJH. Now the utility chipping away at the time he's got to create something. 20 seconds left on the clock. I think he was hoping to catch some A aggression here. He's actually managed to force a lot of rotations away, but I think Propler is close enough murder hole that he hears this. He knows what's coming. 12 seconds left. Meztal isolates the 3rd headshot. That should get him the bomb plant with little time left on the clock, but he's planting the wrong side of double. And they can swing it freely here. He gets the bomb down, but nothing more. NASR have 11. Their CT side continuing to click.
Yeah, presuming there was probably going to be a player short. Didn't want to plant it open, which unfortunately would have been the better option right there. At least getting the bomb down, as you pointed out, it's going to make sure that the buy here is quite good for JJH. They can actually get the op this time around. They can be dropped over, so finally Davkost will have his weapon of choice. But the rounds are beginning to get away from them. It was the T side rather yesterday where JJH got the majority of their work done as well. So it's surprising that they are beginning to falter a small bit. We did mention JJH had time to look back at the demo of yesterday's game, as did NASR, and well, they've made adjustments, and the adjustment is to tell Remind to just go kill. Within the first 10 seconds, get a kill. Usually he gives 2. This time he's gonna be happy with the 1.
Just chipping away at this T side as they take that opening control. They're very keen, JJH, on getting that mid control.
With 1 player.
Every time.
Oh, sorry, NASR with 1 player managed to keep it, rather.
Yeah, and it's not even that they keep it. It's just that when they come out and they take that initial control, they lose a man, right? Or they lose 2. And then as soon as you've got that man advantage, as soon as you've got that pick, NASR are confident in their sight holes that they just turtle up. They back away from the mid control. Turtle inside of their respective sites. Just look to chip at them on the entry again. This time Remind is having another little poke around mid. And everybody is there for the T side. But what do you do with this? No matter where you go, you've got the mid control, but everything else looks one-dimensional. Hoping for the miracle spray is Meztal, and he gets it. The lucky shot deals with Remind. The response is for Almeza to do just the same. Blue Phoenix goes down, realize low on HP, but where do they take this? 30 seconds left. All of these footsteps are being heard. All of this noise is being processed by Almeza, who looks to swing out, whiffs the shot, but he knows what's coming now. Teammates in support to spam away at the short play. Propler gets 1 onto more. And the inside of the site anchor in Bibu manages to cut down Davkost, leaving just Meztal. Nothing he can do. His 1 speculative spray through a smoke, the only kill that JJH find in the round, and NASR do it again. This CT side is going from strength to strength. And at the moment, JJH, they haven't registered on the T side. They don't have a response.
No, this time without conceding the bomb plant as well, so JJH do not have enough to get their buyout. There wasn't really any damage. The only kill was the frag that Meztal got, which I don't want to call it Remind much because he's having a ridiculous half so far. He shot up the scoreboard towards the top. Just behind Bibu now. But I don't know why he decided to stay there peeking connector when Meztal was just going crazy, spamming it from side to side. He was bound to get his standing in the middle. Come on. Other than that, though, he's been having a fantastic game. I think he just felt so lucky with the timing of all his peaks on mid when he keeps getting free kills. So he was like, do you know what? These bullets won't hit me. It does feel like fortune's on their side.
Fortune favours the brave, and NASR are going for it, right? They're playing into that mid control. They're swinging it. They're making it difficult for JJH to get the control they want. And, well, this is a B pop that's going to be met with a lot of resistance. Avkos first up on the AWP, lands the flick. Molotov down just in case they fancy trying to charge that AWP away. Instead, what was initially looking to be a set play into the B side backs away. And we start to see, you know, how deep does this JJH strat book go? What's next? When you've got this half buy. They've got 2 smokes, 5 flashes. You know, there's an A execute in the back pocket there. It looks like they want to have another crack at B.
Yeah, I would say it's maybe the favourable site with the weaker weapons, with the closer range ones especially. They've got a P250, a Tech 9 and the Mac 10. But it's not going to be easy to crack through with there still being a bit of utility here on that CT side. I don't think they've got a molly on the B-bomb side, but they've got a flash, they've got a smoke. Maybe not the best of things to delay the push, but they definitely can do so a small bit and allow for the quick rotations from short to come back over. So those weapons are going to very quickly be in place. JJH need instant entries if they want any success, and it's not happening. Bibu and Almazer, rather, alongside Realize, just putting a stop to it. Barely even any damage being outputted from JJH, which has been the case for this entire half so far. It's looking pretty dire right now.
They need a response now. This is a marked improvement from NASR. And this will start to send shivers. You know, that Inferno game, as much as we were talking about how NASR was scrappy, they stayed in it. It was 16-13. It went down to the wire. If they're feeling their confidence like this, that could very well pivot and start to get very nasty for JJH. This time it's the A play. Facecrack lurks mid. Look to work their way out the ramp. Disrespecting the smoke is more. He's got an isolated fight onto Poplar. The nade over the top will chip away even further. 18 HP left, but he stays standing for now. Now he swings. Blue Phoenix able to punish. Facecrack on the rotations. Cracks open 2 more. And this is more like it. Realize that Almazer are left, and they've got a huge decision to make here. They've got the money. Do you want to throw yourselves at a 2v5 retake? Almazer's grabbed 1 at least from inside the CT, but now his position is known and it's quickly dealt with. Last up, Realize on that AWP inside a jungle. The footsteps heard. I don't think they're going to let him get away with this one. The hunt is already on.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't got much money themselves, and you've got a couple players who are tagged pretty low, but it does seem like they are, as you said, willing to go for this hunt to see if they can neutralize the op. The economy, though, is still going to be pretty decent for NASR, and well, as the first player falls for JJH, I think it might force them to reconsider. Either that or you're all in at this point, because you're just one of those people that don't want to admit you're wrong. You know, in the sense, not that they're wrong, but you kind of want to invest to make sure at least something comes of the initial, perhaps, player who goes down. But no, they did decide to turtle in, as you would say yourself. Which I'm happy about, because keeping at least 3 standing there with their first round win was pretty necessary to make sure they get their both of their weapons dropped back over, and so that they get all of this utility as well. I think the main reason they were even willing to throw the 1 player at that was just in the hopes that they could get Davcost and op. Less so about doing damage, I believe.
Same play. Exact same call. They found something that works, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There has been an adjustment this time. Facecrack given free roam of mid in response for a 3-man A-stack. Works out well for the initial pick. Molotovs isolate the fight. Realize will pick off Meztal. And with Facecrack not getting much presence out, needs to find something. Will swing wide for the first. Can't really lurk CT either with that vent not broken. Stuck inside of the site itself, and they're still trying to get that bomb across. Realize on the AWP continuing to try and cause havoc. The utility will force them back, but still, inside of the firebox lies Remind. He's got a lineup here, 2 free kills on the spray down, and that isolates this whole round now. Blue Phoenix solo against 4. Stuck inside a Tetris, there's nothing he can do, and it's just the unexpected third player. NASR have played the same setup time and time again. This time they change it up. It's the same execute from JJH, and they cut it down.
Do you know what? If I was JJH right now, I'd be really angry at Remind. Not for any particular reason, but just because he's been such a thorn in their side since the side swap. It's been ridiculous. He kicked off all the initial rounds for NASR to get that streak going with a double kill in the first couple, and then kept it going, taking one every time, never even taking damage. And now he just puts a stop to any hope there that they maybe could have turned that after plant around for themselves. 14-10. A single round was not enough for JJH to get any momentum going, but they thankfully do still have the money there for a buy, including an op on Dav cost this time. And this really is their last chance to get something going, otherwise they're going to be heading onto Inferno. Down a map similar as they were yesterday, sure. But it will have been certainly a more decisive victory for NASR.
Still time. Still an opportunity as well. The economy's well set for the CT side, I'll say that. Much unlike yesterday's game. So they've got a nice little buffer if this one starts to go wrong. An adjustment available. The question is, what's the adjustment from GG? How do you try and break this one open? Mid control heavily taken. 4 players, in fact, pushing that issue. Hmeztal the only one not there. Trusted to lurk Palace on the timings. Time to be mollied out of contact, force him to stick around. Their flames will tickle his feet though, the noise will be heard, the tags will be heard and converted on. Man advantage early in the round for JJH. Still 45 seconds to try and leverage this. And with the lurk out Palace, the timing is nasty. Propler will trade it, but that's his position known. And now it's about where you take that bomb. With 35 seconds left, you know ramp is occupied. You've got control of short, and Bibu is isolated on the B site now. If they hit B, surely Bibu can do nothing about it. Completely alone, 20 seconds left. They'll charge the rotation in as quickly as possible, but he's aware short is open. He's got to cover multiple angles, gets the first, needs more, lands the second headshot before he goes down, and that buys time. Almeza rotates in to trade his death, and it's all onto the AWPer. Davkos with 6 seconds left, needs to isolate a fight, and he just can't. A little bit of magic from Bibu, holds onto the B site just long enough. It's 15 on the board for NASR, and the economy is in tatters for JJH. They'll just about be able to scrape a buy together, but it's going to look ugly.
Indeed, that was nasty. The double kill, I honestly for a moment thought he was getting that transfer down onto the third as well, but as you said, it was enough. Almeza was able to get into position and pretty much seal the deal. 15-10, a pause being called for this last round as JJH scraped together a somewhat competent buy. There's a couple of Galils in there. Davkos should have an AK as well for himself. Indeed he will. Unless he decides that he wants extra utility, which wouldn't make sense sacrificing an AK because he's already got a HE and a smoke, so that won't happen. But he does go for the Galil. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe he prefers it. I don't know. Wolfie, help me here. That was strange.
Wait, what?
He already had a smoke and a HE. And he had 3,700 left to get an AK and full Kevlar, but then he went for a Galil and bought 2 flashes. Do you think that was necessary? Maybe they just really need the flashes for whatever set play they have in mind.
I was about to say, it's got to be a call for a set play, hasn't it? You've got to, well, here come the flashes.
That's why, okay.
Trying to get them out the ramp. I mean, you can understand it. They want to up the pace here. They want to get into the site. They have got some isolated fights here. Realize he's playing the edges of the smokes, and this connector lurk. Oh my goodness, Remind spots it, traded well. Almeza on short, able to make his teammate's death not be in vain, but now he's isolated and Blue Phoenix will find him. Bomb yet to be committed to this too. They can back away, they can reset. They can have another crack at B, and Bibu once again will be asked some big questions.
Yeah, most likely anyway. Still quite a bit of time, so the rotation could technically come in, and well, Propler's going to find themselves some success towards Palace. That might give them an indication that it's potentially A, which I was going to say might mislead them, but no, they actually are starting to move this true underpass now. But the problem is, as you can see, Realize he's begun a rotation himself back over towards B. I wouldn't mind if Bibu was at least going for the jump spot here so that they could be getting some info, because this bomb's getting very close to moving its way up connector, and Propler's actually decided to fall back off, which is probably for the best at this point. Just make sure you can stay alive, get the info, maybe even get some damage as they're taking this bomb site, and just set up for what will be a retake most likely. They have a bit of utility as well to work with.
Oh, Blue Phoenix, that timing was disgusting.
Oh, he's behind them.
It's going to be a freebie. Realize goes down, now they got to turn. Propler still inside a CT, yet to be seen, but they know there was presence on this site. Plenty of time. He looks for the plant. He sprays one down, but the trade is immediate. Bibu on the rotation's got to find a 1v2. No information on Blue Phoenix's position either, so the nade will land, the spam will try, but it's JJH with an 11th. It's a breaking round for NASR as well. The economy resets pretty viciously. I mean, Almazer's well set. He could maybe drop a round to make this a reality. He's actually going to drop an AWP to try and get this buy going, but it's starting to get tight again. JJH, they're not out of this yet.
No, surprisingly, I mean, they only had one round before that one, and they're still able to nearly break down the economy. They force at least everything to be spent into this one, so the damage clearly was being done throughout. Now they need to try and actually capitalize on it, win this round. Suddenly they're up towards 13, maybe even 14 before the guns truly come out again for NASR. So a couple of gun rounds maybe at most between them and an overtime. They need this one first, as I said, though, and well, that's a fantastic entry from Meztal. He really was the standout player from what I seen yesterday from them. And it looks again to be the case with him up there towards the top of the scoreboard on 24.
Looking to pop out top connector now. Footsteps will be heard, but how much can they really get done? Dink onto Almazer, but he finds the kill. Next up is Propler, and he's in trouble. Tucked behind Kenny, there's nothing he can do. He'll be sprayed down cleanly by Moore, and at this point, the defense is split. Blue Phoenix is watching for the B flank. Moore's dealt with Almazer in towards CT. Goes from bad to worse. They need a couple of quick kills here if they're going to get back into this one, the CT side. Remind is trying to hunt down Blue Phoenix in mid, but it's a scrappy fight. The head triangle makes it difficult. They'll trade away. Bibu on the MP9 will find one more. It starts to feel doable. Davkos low on HP. The HE goes in, but it goes too deep. Davkos on Tetris gives the game away, and it's a clean headshot from Bibu. 16-11 will be the score. A marked improvement from yesterday from NASR. A much-needed improvement at that. And one that will give them a lot of confidence moving into map 2, moving into that Inferno now. NASR are going to be feeling it. They found their way. They found a way to make that CT, well, that CT side consistent, which is something they struggled massively with yesterday, and it's going to give them a huge confidence boost.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how they managed to have such a turnaround from the halftime as well. Remind was a massive help, as we said. He certainly cooled off as the half went on, but everyone had stepped up. He was just doing such a great job early on of giving them the advantages.